It has launched 1,000 ships, inspired countless songs, and broken more hearts than words can count. It fuels revolutions and tender whispers alike. But ask 100 people what love is, and you'll get 100 different answers. Love is perhaps the most deeply felt and most misunderstood emotion in the human experience. It is both universal and unique, irrational and essential. But what exactly is love? Love defies easy definition because it manifests in many forms. It can be romantic, platonic, familial, self-directed, or spiritual. Each kind of love bears its own emotional signature, shaped by biology, experience, culture, and context. The ancient Greeks even had multiple words for love: eros, romantic, passionate love; philia, deep friendship; storge, familial love; agape, unconditional, selfless love; and philautia, self-love. Modern psychology too has tried to define love through various lenses: chemical, behavioral, and philosophical. In our everyday lives, love is often spoken of in terms of feeling, affection, desire, care, or attachment. But love is more than just a fleeting emotion. It's an enduring force that shapes relationships, identities, and the human experience itself. From a biological standpoint, love is a cocktail of chemicals: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and vasopressin. These neurotransmitters play key roles in attraction, bonding, and attachment. Dopamine, associated with pleasure and reward, explains the initial euphoria of romantic love. Oxytocin, known as the cuddle hormone, fosters long-term bonding and intimacy, especially in maternal and romantic relationships. Neuroscientific research shows that love activates the same brain regions as addictive substances. This explains why falling in love can feel euphoric, and heartbreak can feel like withdrawal. Yet, while biology explains how love affects us, it doesn't fully capture what love means, or why it holds such power over our lives. While chemistry might ignite love, it's not enough to sustain it. True love, especially in long-term relationships, requires effort, vulnerability, and commitment. Psychologist Erich Fromm, in his seminal work, The Art of Loving, argued that love is not merely a passive experience, but an active skill. To love someone, he believed, requires discipline, patience, and care. It's a choice we make repeatedly: to be present, to forgive, to grow alongside another. This idea resonates across cultures and philosophies. In Buddhism, love is equated with compassion and non-attachment, a generous wish for others to be happy without clinging. In Christian thought, love is seen as a divine command, an act of service and humility. The common thread is that love, at its highest form, is not just about receiving pleasure, but about giving and growing. Love is foundational to human development. The bond between a caregiver and a child forms the template for future relationships. Infants who experience consistent, loving care develop secure attachments, while those who lack it may struggle with trust and emotional regulation throughout life. Psychologist John Bowlby's attachment theory highlights how early love, or its absence, can shape an individual's mental and emotional landscape. In adolescence and adulthood, love becomes a quest, not just for connection but for identity. Romantic relationships allow individuals to explore intimacy, vulnerability, and self-discovery. Friendships offer stability, joy, and a sense of belonging. Across the lifespan, love is both the goal and the path, shaping who we become. As powerful as love is, it is not always pure or kind. Love's shadow includes obsession, jealousy, codependence, and even abuse. Sometimes what is called love is really control, insecurity, or fear of abandonment. Understanding love requires recognizing its capacity for harm when misdirected or misunderstood. Unhealthy love often stems from a lack of self-love. Without a solid foundation of self-worth, individuals may seek love to fill emotional voids or validate their existence. But when love becomes a transaction or a tool for control, it ceases to be love in its truest form. True love, whether romantic or otherwise, fosters growth, not diminishment. It respects boundaries, celebrates individuality, and thrives on mutual care. Love that demands the erasure of the self is not love, but fear in disguise. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, love faces new challenges. Social media and dating apps have altered how people meet and interact, sometimes encouraging superficial connections over deep bonds. Yet, despite the noise of modern life, the longing for love remains as strong as ever. Technology may change the form love takes, but not its essence. What people ultimately seek is not just connection, but meaning. Someone to witness their lives, to share their joys and burdens, to make the world feel less lonely. At the same time, there is growing recognition of the importance of self-love. In a culture that often prizes productivity and perfection, the practice of loving oneself with compassion, patience, and forgiveness is radical and necessary. As the saying goes, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Despite centuries of exploration in literature, religion, science, and philosophy, love remains a mystery. And perhaps that's part of its power. Love defies reduction. It cannot be measured, dissected, or fully explained. It is as much a spiritual experience as it is a psychological or physical one. We may know what love does, how it bonds, inspires, and transforms, but what love is at its core may forever elude strict definition. Maybe that's why we keep writing about it, singing about it, and living for it. So what is love? Love is paradox. It is both gift and responsibility, impulse and discipline, chaos and order. It is an invisible force that builds civilizations, nurtures families, and fuels the quiet courage of everyday kindness. Love is not perfect. It is messy, unpredictable, and sometimes painful. But it is also the most powerful and necessary emotion we have. The force that reminds us we are not alone, that we are seen, and that our lives matter to someone else. In a world filled with uncertainty, love remains the one thing worth believing in again and again. Not because it's easy, but because it makes life not just bearable, but beautiful.